Gather around, my children, and I'll tell a tale of woe about a famous cowboy. CNN is battling with free speech. Same with the administration. Joe Biden gets a hand slap. Quit being totalitarian and quit pooping your pants. Anyways, welcome to Exile. Thank you guys for subscribing. It really helps us out. It really buttresses my crumbling, failing, poor self-image when you subscribe. It just builds me up, helps us get our message out. You guys are a great community, and I appreciate your listening. Here we go. New York Times says, breaking news. A judge limited Biden administration officials from contacting social media sites, a ruling that could curtail efforts to fight disinformation. Now, what's disinformation? That's when a lefty news rag, yellow journalism, like the New York Times, wants to defend censorship. They're like, but how will we stop disinformation? By the way, all disinformation is politics that disagree with them is called disinformation. They call it dangerous, lying, lives are at stake. The debate is over on climate, on what sexes can marry, on vaccine mandates. Remember, they go all down. The science they believe is on their side, on everything. They believe the science is on their side when they say that a man can have a baby. They're like, hey, the science is on our side. You guys shut up. We're the smart ones. Let's get to the meatheads at CNN soiling their pants.
Just reading the words in this injunction, a, quote, massive effort by the defendants to suppress speech based on content. Those are the judge's words, calling the present case, quote, arguably involves the most massive attack against free speech in the United States history, Ellie.
Yeah. Let that sink in. That judge was right that what the Biden administration and the FBI did with Twitter and Facebook and a lot of other people I can't even mention on this channel because I'll get censored, is the largest censorship in American history. Why? Because big tech can do it on scale now in en masse. This isn't just one, the king trying to stop one publisher or one author. It's doing a massive AI sweep of what everyone does, says, and thinks. Doing these little micro, truth collection, disinformation messages that you get, canceling channels, canceling creators, canceling content, and then promoting their own content.
It's a dramatic decision by this judge. If you read through it, he's citing to literature and George Washington and Ben Franklin.
George Washington and Ben Franklin, those guys.
Here's what really is astonishing to me. This is a conservative ideology that clearly comes through.
Oh, crap. Free speech is conservative now.
In this decision. It's a conservative political ideology.
This is a conservative ideology. Happy to be on the wrong side of history, everybody. We're loving free speech. It's conservative. It's right wing. Now it's going to be white supremacist, ultra MAGA supreme groups are pro free speech. These people are idiots, pooping their pants. I'm going to keep saying that. Mika, got to clean up on aisle 7. I can smell it from here.
Right. We saw some of the quotes questioning vaccines, questioning masks, conservative talking points. But the ruling itself is the opposite of judicial conservatism. This is one of the most aggressive, far-reaching rulings you'll ever see. What this judge is purporting to do is to micromanage, really, the day-to-day interactions between essentially the entire executive branch, all these agencies that are listed as defendants, and the leading social media companies. And in the actual temporary injunction, the judge basically says, you're not allowed, administration, to talk to these social media companies about any protected free speech.
Yeah, stop doing it. Look, we have a long-standing tradition of separation of church and state. Well, what do you think if the president or if the executive branch was going in and orchestrating churches and pastors? The idea is you don't want the power of the presidency to start dictating content. Do you understand that, CNN? I know that you don't understand it because CNN basically has all of their content dictated by one party. It's so alien to them because this is their censorship and being under the Democrat rule is CNN's whole operating manual. That's what they thought journalism was. Here's the headline. Federal judge says Biden likely violated the First Amendment, blocks him from colluding with big tech. There's the dictator, totalitarian in chief. By the way, the emperor has no clothes. Actually, the emperor has clothes. He has no gray matter. A federal judge on Tuesday issued a key injunction against the Biden administration, preventing officials from any further pressuring of big tech companies to mute or ban certain accounts in the future. A move that free speech advocates say will protect opinions at odds with the government surveillance agencies. They're defending government surveillance agencies against the citizens. I thought we were supposed to be listening in on terrorists. Now they're listening in on Catholics and PTA moms and moms for liberty. All conservative, of course, pro-lifers. That's who they're monitoring now. The move, first reported by the Washington Post, came in response to lawsuits filed by Republican attorneys generals who claimed federal officials overstepped their authority by contacting companies like Twitter and Facebook to shut down the accounts and chat rooms dedicated to questioning the efficacy of COVID vaccines. Oh, dear. I can't even comment on it. During the height of the pandemic, during the height of the panic. So this is a statue of George Orwell that was erected outside of BBC in London in 2017. Absolutely all of these words, which they carved in stone, were completely lost on the BBC. If liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear. Now, BBC was all for this, going, yay, put up the Orwell statue during the Trump regime. They're all, make him huge. Look how big he is. Let's make a big, giant statue of that guy during Trump. This is 2017. And now it's Biden in rule. It's all these big state, eat the bugs, globalists in charge. And now they want to I'll bet they're going to tear this statue down. The idea that I'm allowed to disagree, let's try it out. Let's roll us out some Orwell right now on YouTube. I know exactly what to say to get myself canceled on YouTube. It's in their terms. If you disagree with environmentalism and undermine that science and say that global warming isn't a problem, that is, I disagree with YouTube on that. You can get your channel taken away. If I go about against the rainbow, if I say things like marriage should only be between one man and one woman or something like that, it'll be seen as hate speech or insensitive or causing people to go commit suicide or something. They have their reasons for why they want to stop misinformation, but it always is one party. It's one party's position at all media platforms. One party. That ought to make you suspect. That's why they're all crapping and that's why they're all pooping their pants, loading up their pants, overflowing with brown human waste and pouring out the seams over this decision. One tiny judge said, Biden, stop doing this. Don't be doing this with tech companies. If you guys agree, give us a big thumbs up. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. And of course, every time you subscribe, a humanities professor loses his tenure. I'm Doug in Exile.